Howdy, Banger Pals. Blaine Smith welcoming you to another Metal Monthly, Bangers Monthly look at what's coming out in metal releases. If it's your first time here, thanks for coming out. This is the show where I find you the 5 best underground metal albums coming out every single month. And hey, look, the green screen's back. We've been in many places, many times over the years. Sometimes it's green screen, sometimes it's Hollywood nails. So it's back. We can toss it. We can toss Hollywood nails up there real quick. There they are. Hell yeah. So, you know, we'll have some fun with it. Regardless, I do have 5 records for you. And as always, I also have a calendar of some of the big noteworthy releases you might want to keep an eye out for. So we'll get into that before we get on to the 5 records that I'm jazzed to tell you about. Nails. So, April 3rd, which I guess is now in the past, Nervosa is releasing Slave Machine on Napalm and Poison Rune. I reviewed it. Catch it up if you didn't watch it yet. Hymns from the Hills on Relapse. April 10th, you've got Archspire releasing Too Fast to Die. That's a self-release. Inferi, more of the you want more tech, is releasing Heaven Wept on the Artisan Era, and Uada is releasing the Interwoven EP on Eisenwald. April 17th, you've got Dude Swins releasing Dude Swins on Svart. Necrogoblicon is releasing the Boiling Sea EP. That's a self-release. April 24th, close friends of Banger at the Gates are releasing the final record, The Ghost of a Future Dead, on Century Media. And if you want a flashback to the past, you've got Atreyu releasing The End Is Not the End on Spinefarm. You got Foo Fighters releasing Your Favorite Toy on Roswell RCA. What are we all, 12 again? And Sepultura is releasing the Cloud of Unknowing EP on Nuclear Blast. And 6 Feet Under are back with Next to Die, Metal Blade. Let me know in the comments, should I review the new 6 Feet Under? Is it a new tradition for us? Anyways, that's the calendar. Let's get on to the records that I'm jazzed about. So up first, we've got Hrob with Brána Chladu, Memento Mori, April 27th. Just rolls off the tongue. This is a Slovakian death doom band, and who doesn't love a nice iced out cover? And who doesn't love hearing me trying to pronounce Jan Vlasic's name? There's so many hats on those letters. I bet Jan didn't love that. I'm sure that was nails on the chalkboard for them. So this month's a little weird. It's one of the most bountiful months I've ever had in one of the Metal Monthly research streams, because as a reminder, we do research this show every Sunday over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/metalcomedy, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So, the last week of March. Oh, I said March. I think I said March like the whole time whenever I was talking about, like, March is a crazy month. There's so many releases. I don't think you can cover it up, so yeah, just make fun of me. So, the last week of April, we got 18 good records in 1 week. That was a record. But everything is basically death metal, black metal, or heavy metal. So, it's a great month for quantity, diversity, not there. So I've done something a little fun. I've brought you death metal prepared 3 different ways. We're basically at a restaurant. We're doing a death metal pairing. Each of the death metals is similar, but by mixing it with something else, it becomes something different and special. And I think that's kind of one of the cool things about metal. So yes, it is going to be very death metal heavy. If you don't like death metal, you could probably skip the next 3 bands. But please stick with me through them, because I swear they all rule. So in this case, we have mixed it with doom. And man, when that doom comes in, it has this great echoey sound to it, and it just feels like it's reverberating around the walls of an ice cave. That little old dude on the cover, that's you listening to this record. Especially because it does have full range too. Sometimes it's doom, sometimes it's death doom, and sometimes it goes full over to the death metal side, kicking up the BPM, even getting a little melodic with some of the leads here. You're just going through the whole ride, hanging on to your little staff, because as a reminder, you're the little dude on the cover. If only we had a fan in here, I'd look just like him. I'm real glad I got this buzzer beater of an album because it's releasing on the last Monday of April. That's not when you release records, but okay, if it's this good, you can do whatever you want.
April.
Next up from your death metal mixologist is Ordh, Blind in Abyssal Realms, Pulverised Records, April 17th. These guys are progressive death metal from New England. I'm sure by now I don't even need to tell you that the cover is a Paolo Girardi and that it's great. It's just given. He's maybe the most recognizable cover artist in metal right now. So now we've got death metal, and the death metal portions of this are going to have the same grimy, cavey feel of Hrob, but the doom has been swapped out for progressive, and conveniently it's also a jumble of 4 letters for a name. Hrob, Ordh. Up next we've got Kurg and blah. I'm known to clown a little bit on progressive, but thankfully this is not the I've got so good at my instrument I've forgot what it's like to be human and now I make unlistenable music type of prog. This is prog much more rooted in the 70s. It's organic, it's natural, it's warm, it doesn't sound like a sterile record that someone recorded by plugging a guitar directly into a MacBook, which obviously makes it complement with the death metal perfectly because the death metal has those same qualities, which would already be a happy surprise, but it's all the more surprising considering this is the first thing Ordh has ever released. First album, no EPs, no thing. It's just straight out the gates with this. And the guys in the band mostly seem to have a background in sludge, so I don't know how they nailed it this hard in one. I guess that guy looks like a wizard, so maybe he's cast some kind of spell. I've been saying sludge needs to evolve in the 2020s, but if all sludge bands just want to evolve into progressive death metal this good, I'll take that too. Oh look, we've got more letters, but they're still assembled in a way that makes you feel like you're doing the Tuesday jumble. It's Ignobleth with Manor of Primitive Anticreation on Caligari Records, coming out April 17th. Out our death trio, we're bringing death metal but with a little black metal in there, and it's from the Italy region of Italy. I love this wild and wacky cover by Brian Maita, and I love the band's choice to keep it clean. No logo, no album title, just let that shit pop. So if you're someone that's been hearing about the hot new genre on the block, war metal, but have been having a hard time getting into it, this might be the band and the record for you. It definitely has war metal parts, so you get to experience that, but it's also a bit more of a death metal band that incorporates war metal sounds than a full-on, 100% full-time, clocking into work war metal band, making it a great way to get your toes wet in the genre without being overloaded. It brings the intensity that war metal is known for, but with some more tempo and sound variations, breaking up what can be a numbing blast of a full-on war metal record. This makes it a little easier for those new to the genre to get into without having to tag the dreaded accessible word on it. Ugh. So that would turn off fans of the genre. Are you already a fan of war metal? Well, good news. It's not like it's accessible, it's just death metal with a bunch of war metal in it. So, you know, someone new to the genre, someone seasoned, you can still talk out, you can still sound like a cool dude when you're hanging out with all the cool folks at the metal show. All that and a great spooky layer to the whole thing, including an unnerving interlude that makes you feel like you're trapped in a indie horror movie. So front to back, great, love it. What do we got next? We got Forlorn Citadel on Oath Undone. Hey, all of those are words. Northern Silence Productions, April 3rd. This is a one-man black metal project who's originally from Australia but now lives in Sweden. So yeah, I probably don't want to eat his cooking, but I will listen to his music and love it. We've got a classic painting by George Osterwald gracing the cover, proving the point, why would you ever use AI for an album cover? Don't have an album cover? Old paintings look sick as hell. So, for the record itself, sound-wise, I have a question. Do you like summoning? If so, boy howdy do I have good news for you. If not, shit. It's black metal and dungeon synth at the same time, hand in hand, which is generally gonna make people go, hey, that sounds like summoning. It does sound like summoning. I really like that he lets the dungeon synthy parts fully breathe, making me feel like I'm playing a weird old point-and-click adventure game. Honestly, the black metal is sort of just a nice little treat rather than the main attraction. There's something just absolutely entrancing to me about how he's done the synths and the drums throughout. I don't know, the guy's in like 30 bands ranging from black to power metal, so that shouldn't surprise me. He's not putting up raga numbers, but he's certainly working. And before we get to our palate cleanse, I must remind you, this is a crazy month. I have so many records. Blaine, I'd love it if I could get 5 more records from you. Well, good news, you can get 5 more records because we upload a video tip sheet to the Patreon campaign because we have a Patreon campaign. You give us a couple bucks, we keep making content like this. We don't talk about VPNs, and we reward you with some more content over there. So, works out well, right? Anyways, back to the palate cleanse. It is Demon Spell, Blessed Be the Dark, Dying Victims Productions, April 24th. This is an Italian heavy metal band. The cover is bad. While this month might be lacking in diversity, it's more than making up for it in cohesion, because even the heavy metal record has a similar vibe to everything else I've talked about. I love the choice to have Federico Fano. Jesus, that name's Italian. So far back in the mix, it's like he's singing from the back of the stage, just a vocalist behind a drummer belting it out to the rafters. Maybe he's shy. And accompanying it is absolutely full swagger heavy metal. This in no way surprises me because, as that name reminds us, this is an Italian band. And while it might not be the first place you think of for heavy metal, in my experience listening to every single one of their heavy metal bands in a streamathon, as well as many streamathons from many other countries, it is one of the all-time best, most consistent countries for heavy metal. The guitars are so fun. The bass is here and it's strong and it keeps us roaring along at a great clip, and the drums are taking advantage of the whole damn kit. Every time I press play on a new heavy metal record, this is basically exactly what I'm hoping for to hear inside. It feels like it's written for me, and This show's been going on for years, and if you're still watching, that probably means it's been written for you too, viewer. Great news. Great news. That's another Metal Monthly in the can. There's 5 records. Like I said, there are so many records this month, so please make sure to check the Patreon for another tip sheet from me, and then we'll toss up some, metal minutes as well, where I'll talk about even more records, because, oh my god, records. What are you buying this month? Are you going to be financially constrained? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one.